From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunab Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Welcome to Wednesday Village time. I'm Viata, your host, and we are in Viata's Tiny House Village. I have been so excited to share my experience with trading that I was like, I couldn't wait to get here today after viewing several YouTube videos and finding more about SpaceX. You're going to love this because you might become a trader and you could become a millionaire. So stay tuned, call your friends, and I don't care if you only have $100 to spend. Anything's possible when you're raising your consciousness and your spiritual awareness is growing. Anything's possible. So let me welcome my village.
The kookaboot and ha. The kookaboot and ha. And ha kabos in this order. Corona cook curdo and ha. The kookaboot and ha. The kookaboot and ha.
So I welcome. That was a little preview of my tiny house experience journey over the last 30 years. No, it's been about 20 years now. So I'm now in 320 square feet of pure love, joy, peace. And I promote my village very infrequently, but I want you to know I'm available if you'd like to downsize or become a minimalist. That's my specialty. I did it. And I'm here, and it's a joyful, and not cheap, I would say inexpensive experience if you're worried about money. But speaking of money, we're talking about not just making money, but actually growing spiritually tonight in our awareness of what this whole stock trading capitalistic adventure is all about. And I am a whole new trader. I have a watch list now, and I've actually invested in, I think I have like 4 stocks that I've invested in, which was fairly easy because there's a bank called SoFi, SoFi, and they act as a broker. So it was, and I had already had a SoFi account And when I found out they are actually accepting like applications for SpaceX, because nobody knows who's going to get it. But I said, okay, that would be an easy transition for me to use SoFi to make a watch list of the stocks that I might be able to invest in, and to practice consciousness and spiritual awareness raising. That's what it's all about tonight. I've just been amazed at this spiritual journey that I'm on. And first of all, let me introduce you to Vegetable Soup for Women. This is every Wednesday. I started this show on Wednesday because I wanted to promote Vegetable Soup for Women, a collection of stories that 9 authors put together, 9 different people. We are total strangers. And we decided to bring a solution to the stresses and problems that many women go through that are not only affecting their relationships, but affecting their health and their children and so much more. So this book is I offer this book to you for any donation that you send me in a Cash App. Send me any donation and I'll send you this. I believe there's about 70 pages in the book. I'll send you the PDF, the ebook free with any donation, because I want to get this into your hands as a start to inspire you, motivate you to think outside the box. A lot of the stories are outside the box. If you're having challenges with so-called problems and you haven't seen an opportunity to create a solution, this book is going to help you. So Cash App, and be sure and send me your email address with the Cash App, and I will forward this to you right away to your email address. Okay. Okay. So let's get into some trading, because that's why you're here. I signed up, to give you a little backstory on why I'm presenting this information to you. I signed up for a 4-day webinar, I would say a seminar, a 4-day seminar on wealth management. No, actually it was called mind, body, spirit, and finances workshop for 4 days. Now, Michael Beckwith, if you know who Michael Beckwith, he was one of the speakers in those 4 days. And that's really one of the people who attracted me to this workshop, because there were several speakers. And this was all free. I sign up for a lot of free stuff, as much as I can, to see what I can learn new in this life journey. So the first or second day, a guy by the name of Darren presented a 2-hour teaching on trading, wealth management, trading, and all of that. 2 hours. And I'm like thinking, well, it's free. Maybe I can learn something new. And I was really surprised at all the information that I learned and how well he presented it. And of course, at the end of each speaker's presentation, they invited you to sign up for money to join their program, their plan, whatever it was. And he offered a $5,000 program. That's what he charges people, because Darren is from the UK. He's been in trading for, I think he said 30 years. And he has a lifestyle of the rich and famous, travels everywhere. But he's presented children's workshops. He does a lot of donations. So he interested me in his philanthropic efforts and all that. And so at the end, he offered this program that normally he charged $5,000. And then he reduced it to $3,000. And finally, the final price was $400. It's like, oh, okay. So pulled out my credit card. Didn't need to, but I said, okay, I need to learn this, because for 2 hours, he spent 2 hours in a free workshop teaching us about trading. That was fascinating. Now, one of the first, and so I signed up, and that was in April, signed up. It started last week for 4 days, Wednesday through Saturday. And one of the first words that got my attention on the spirituality of this process of buying and selling and investing in other companies was the word Fibonacci. I was like, Fibonacci? Why are they using Fibonacci in trading and stock and all that? And so, okay, I'm like curious about what does Fibonacci have to do with trading? Because if you know anything about the word Fibonacci, in my experience, it's related to sacred geometry. It's the movement of figures and rhythm of lines and circles. So I did find a little quick. I want to show you the Fibonacci teaching, because this is the beginning of your understanding and overstanding of the spirituality of this trading stuff that people have been doing. So let me introduce you to the word or the term Fibonacci, because that's where I started and became very interested in, what's really going on with all this money and trading and numbers. So here's a quick lesson on what is the Fibonacci sequence. I thought and it's only a minute and a half or so. So just to get us started on the same on the basics of why this is so spiritual and important for anyone and everyone to really learn about this if you want to make some money.
The Fibonacci sequence is a set of numbers following the rule that each number is equal to the sum of the two preceding numbers. So the sequence looks like this. Visually, this creates a swirling pattern as the sequence goes on. The Fibonacci sequence is named after Italian mathematician Leonardo of Pisa, who used this sequence to illustrate a problem on breeding rabbits. How many pairs of rabbits will be produced in a year beginning with a single pair if in every month each pair bears a new pair which becomes productive from the second month on? Fibonacci numbers are found everywhere in nature, from the branching of trees and leaves to the distribution of raspberry seeds to the pattern of flower petals. Even on the human body, most body parts follow the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5, from the fingers on each hand to the proportions on your face, also known as the golden ratio, roughly 1 to 1.6. Design experts use both the Fibonacci sequence and golden ratio to guide architecture, websites, and user interfaces, among other things.
So, as you can see, Fibonacci is a development of your understanding of charts, really, and circles and figures and energy, basically. The energy of something moving, like, let's say, prices of stock, okay? Because that's really where it applies in the stock trading business. And I don't know a whole lot about Fibonacci yet. That's a more advanced understanding, but I did get some basic understanding of reading the charts on these stock trading platforms, broker sites, whatever. This is where you get to use your brain power, your discernment, your discipline to figure out how much money, first of all, do I want to invest or in a company? And then when do I stop investing? That's the key to successful trading, is knowing when to get in, what price to get in, the lowest price, because you want to make money on the price. And then when do you get out of the trade so you don't lose any money? Now, for those of you who are like me, I always want to know the history of something. So, of course, I found a little history on trading. Where did all this start? How did it begin? And how did we get from there to here? New York Stock Exchange, European Stock Exchange. Once we get this in our mind, in our understanding, you'll understand more and more why the consciousness element and the spiritual element is there, because history shows us the natural evolution from where we were to where we are now. If you're paying attention, okay, if you're paying attention to big events in stock trading or financial matters, then you'll understand the spiritual consequences or focus from knowing where we started. So here's a little thing about the history of stock trading, of the stock market, actually, that I thought was cute. It's only a minute and a half, too. So let's look at this.
In the 1600s, European companies and governments had a great racket going. They'd set up a colony in another, less developed part of the world, trade for or take valuable goods, and send them back to the mother country, making a huge profit. But pirates, bad weather, or poor navigation could cause an expedition to lose everything. To offset these losses, ship owners would find investors to help pay for the cost of the voyage. If the ship returned, everyone would get a share of the profits. To help increase their chances of success, many investors would invest in several ships at once. That way they'd spread their risk, hoping for a big payday if at least one ship made it back. Soon the Dutch East India Company took this concept to the next level. Instead of basing investment on a ship-by-ship basis, they began to sell shares of stock in their company. Investments were now spread across the entire fleet of ships. By selling shares of stock, the Dutch East India Company raised lots of extra cash to invest in more expeditions to get more stuff from the colonies and make more profit. Now, as the value of these shares increased, investors could either hold on to them and collect dividends, or sell them to other investors for a profit. While these exchanges of stock weren't part of an official organization, the basis for the first major stock market was created.
So there you have it. Here's one more view of what's going on with the stock market, a little history of what happened, another perspective here.
How it evolved, and where we're at today. And the content that you're about to see is from the first episode of my Stock Market Basics course. So if you ever want to learn more about stock markets, how to trade on a daily basis, or how to manage a portfolio, please check out the links below. And if you get any value from this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Other than that, let's get right into the video. The history of the stock market is kind of cool. It actually started with ships, and it started in Amsterdam in 1602. Back then, merchants were trying to send ships overseas to trade for goods and products and bring them back into Europe and sell them to make money. Now, what was kind of tricky about this business model back in the day is about 25% of the ships never made it back. So for a merchant to save up all of his money, send out a ship to go and do this, and possibly not have it come back was a big risk. So what they did instead was, instead of sending out one ship, they'd send out 5 ships. But that cost much more money. So they would go out and they would raise money from the general population and from businesses. And in return for that upfront money, they would issue shares. Those shares looked like this. So this share here was issued by the Dutch East India Company. This was the first one that's actually ever been recorded and the oldest one we can find. And this was a share for anybody that invested to get a return of the profit from that ship. Now, this was a great system, and it really helped them expand and grow the amount of ships that they could send and receive. Eventually, more and more businesses began to do this, and soon it was common practice to raise money through issuing shares to start your business. This eventually led to lots of companies having shares and trading the shares. And it grew across Europe, so much so that in London, there was a coffee house where people would meet every single week to trade their shares and exchange and meet up and talk about it. And after a couple of years, the traders that went there every week actually took over that coffee house and established it as the world's first stock exchange. That was in 1773. Fast forward a couple of years, and this premise or this idea had expanded across the globe. In New York, they started Wall Street and the New York Stock Exchange, which was located on Wall Street, and that was in 1792. That was the first organic kind of stock trade market on North American soil. So since then, there's also been a lot of different markets opening around the world, and those include the NASDAQ, which is an electronic exchange also based in New York. It's actually the second largest exchange in the world. There's also the Toronto Stock Exchange for Canadian companies in North America. There's the Japanese Stock Exchange, the Shanghai Stock Exchange, and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, all in Europe. You have Euronext and London Stock Exchange in Europe. Now, the advantage here is that you now have stock exchanges on multiple continents around the globe, which allow you to trade almost 24/7. So if you're up in the middle of the night and you want to make a trade, you can do it on the Asian stock exchanges Monday to Friday. Now, it's great because it allows global markets to interact with each other, and it also gives you liquidity and accessibility to the markets depending on where you are in the world. So it's pretty cool. We started with one single ship. We expanded that premise into multiple businesses and then opened a stock exchange at a coffee house in London. And that expanded into what we now know as the different exchanges around the world. So pretty cool story. That was the quick version of 300 years. But
Okay. So as you can see, we've evolved from, we don't have to worry about people stealing, the ship's not returning, and now we have this huge system of trading and pricing. And I just am so excited about the understanding I'm getting about the ships and relationships. Because if you decide you want to make some money, and here's the thought I had while that was playing. Even if you have a homeless community, you could collect funds for those in that community and invest them for those people. If you have the knowledge that I'm gaining, even to invest in small stocks that are going to have a high probability of success, you could help the homeless in that way. So here, that's just a suggestion to introduce this concept to people who have very little money and create a pool. Let's say everybody, 50 people donate $1. I just invested in a company where the stock is $14 a share. And as I show you the chart for this company or for any company, it's a high probability that they're going to be successful. So you have to know from looking at the chart whether the Fibonacci sequence, the arrows, the pricing chart is indicating a low risk, so that's just one suggestion. But this thing about the ships was the beginning, and now we're evolving into a relationship with yourself for one, because here are what the Darren Wealth Training gave us as the keys to success in any endeavor like this. Number one, being responsible. You are responsible for charting the companies you invest in, and that's readily available on any broker site, and there are lots of free ones you can take advantage of. But being responsible is number one for success. You might have to spend an hour a day watching to see how the price is going up or down, and then getting out of the trade if you see that the price indications are showing this company is going to lose more money. Get out now. So that's number one. Number two is discipline. This is key in life. Discipline is life, whether it's eating, sleeping, exercise, training, discipline. In the area of training, you have to be disciplined enough to watch for key signs, to add investments when you want or when you can, because there's only a certain percentage of your income that should even be invested in. And I think it's like 14%, I believe, of your income. Let me see, I wrote that down today because I was watching a lot of YouTube lately. And one of the numbers that kept coming up for investment purposes, there are like three numbers, I think. Oh, I can't find 7%, 14%. Oh, I wrote it down on another piece of paper. Okay. I've been writing things down. Okay. 75% of what you earn should be used to live your life. Okay. 75% of what you earn. If you're owning, let's just say $1,000 a month from your job, you should only be using 75% of that to buy gas, to food, and all that. And then 15% of whatever you're making should be used to invest. So you wouldn't want to go over $150 if you're making $1,000. I think that's right. And 15%, your 75% would be $750. You use that whatever way you want. 15% would be $150. That's what you're going to invest in every month if that's what your income is. And then 10% traditionally usually is for saving money. That's a key formula for making money and prospering. Okay. So getting back to the success formula, being responsible, discipline, conscious emotions. Emotions, what? In trading? Yes. Because the teaching that was given to us showed that a lot of people who fail in trading get angry, they get worried, they get anxious, they have all these high-flying emotions flying all over the place, and they don't make good decisions. So when you decide to do investing in companies that you like, that you appreciate, whatever. I invested today in a company that makes diapers and natural baby products, and it showed in their year analysis, they've been in business for a while, that they're doing well. They're not dropping, their price for their share is not dropping way below a certain line. They're actually on a regular scale of success. The stock was like $7, and they're expected to grow. So $7, you only invest in your 15% of your income. You can afford to lose. If you lose 15%, you've already put aside 75% of whatever you make. So you don't want to 75% to pay bills and all that, and then you don't want to go over 15% for investment. So I found a company just listening to other traders for the low price stocks that I can invest in. And again, I'm going to show you the chart has to be at a certain level for it to be a probability of success. Okay, and then modesty, the other tool of success or suggestion for success, being modest in your trade, not being extreme, and being quick-witted about, okay, this looks like it's going to work, and so I'm going to make the decision today. If you get tips, lots of tips on the same thing, there's a company called Redwire. I invested in that today. It was showing up everywhere. Why? Because next month, Elon Musk's SpaceX goes public on the market, on the stock exchange. This is the biggest news in stock information right now, that Elon Musk is about to take his SpaceX program public on June 15th or something. Now, it's going to probably be hard to get shares. The shares are probably too high for me, but what we're being advised to do is buy in companies that are connected to that SpaceX program. Now, if you don't know what's going on with Elon Musk's SpaceX, it's considered to be the biggest IPO starter ever in history. Let me show you. I pulled up some information about SpaceX plans for record-breaking IPO. And this is information, part of your decision to develop a relationship with the stock market and trading and make some money so that you can retire early or become financially free. This is the type of information you need to know. So here's a little bit of information on SpaceX. And everyone is talking about their record-breaking public announcement on the stock.
Back in tonight's Future of Everything, we are off to trillions and beyond. Literally, we are talking about SpaceX, Elon Musk's company that can break us out of Earth's atmosphere and potentially break the markets, maybe. SpaceX plans to go public, maybe even as soon as next month, and it could be the biggest IPO of all time, raising up to $80 billion, with the company valued at close to $2 trillion. And then they're talking about the possibility of a potential market of 28 trillion. It's hard to wrap your mind around, but just to show you how big this is, look at this graph. Okay, so down here, Uber, Airbnb, Rivian, Porsche, Saudi Aramco. Look, SpaceX, way up here, 80. This is next level stuff, right? SpaceX is almost completely off the chart. But this comes after a pretty tough week for Elon Musk. He lost his lawsuit against OpenAI and Sam Altman, which he says he is appealing. And there was also a worker death at SpaceX's Starbase facility in Texas. And right now, all eyes are going to be on one of his launch pads as SpaceX is gearing up to light up their upgraded Starship V3 rocket tomorrow for the first time, potentially, all before launching this enormous stock to the public very, very soon. Let's bring in NBC News tech reporter David Ingram. David, this is interesting stuff. And again, it's, we're getting a financial picture from the company. It's a look under the hood of some of SpaceX's financials in this public SEC filing. It's the first time that we're seeing some of these numbers. First time we're trying to wrap our head around what they say their TAM is, which is, again, 28 trillion. What do we make of this? What is real here for sure, and what is just, hype before the IPO?
So think of this as the beginning of a big sales pitch, Gotti. So today was the day that the brochure hit everyone's inboxes. This was about a 400-page filing with the SEC from SpaceX. It's called the S1. This is SpaceX and Musk laying out the fundamentals of the company that they hope investors will be interested in buying the stock of. The IPO is scheduled for sometime in June, so that's when investors will be able to buy this for the first time. And this document gave us a sense of various things. One is just Musk's control of SpaceX. The idea that he's proposing is that after this IPO, he would control 85% of the voting power at SpaceX. We heard during the trial weeks ago against OpenAI that Musk really likes to have control of the organizations that he runs. So he wants to have 85%, and he's going to wear 3 different hats: CEO, chairman of the board, and chief technology officer. We also got a sense of the company's financials here. You can see revenue last year of 18.7 billion, but a loss of 4.9 billion. So they're not exactly profitable. That includes amortization and some other factors. But this really gave us a better sense of SpaceX as a company.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see, the net loss, the revenue, huge numbers all the way around. And then again, this TAM, this total accessible market number of 28 trillion, which is what they're saying. And you notice when they break it down, I mean, a lot of it is space and SpaceX and opening up this economy in orbit. And then a lot of this is AI, right? How much is going to be AI in the future? And how much of this is going to be a space economy?
That is one of the key questions, I think, for investors. And I'll even add a third thing in there, which is the connectivity piece of this. So the way that SpaceX is breaking it down is you've got AI, you've got space, and you've got the Starlink internet service. And Starlink actually seems to be where a lot of the revenue so far is coming from. That's where they said they have 10 million subscribers, which is double what they had a year ago. So one of the surprising things we learned today is that the costs really have been recently on the AI side. You would think with these mega rockets that Musk is sending to space that would be the most expensive thing on the capital expenditure side for SpaceX. But in fact, they're spending multiples of that on AI data centers. So the cost in the future may be split between those two competing priorities.
Yeah, and again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I know that the IPO is on the horizon, but tomorrow they're going to be launching a very, very large Starship, and if that Starship is successful in taking their connectivity to the next level, it's going to be something to see. David Ingram, thank you so much for joining us.
We thank you for watching.
So this is just a little bit of information about why so many people are excited about stocks that are associated with that SpaceX project, because as they mentioned, AI is a big part of it. So if you have companies that are making chips, the data centers, and all the imagine all the arms that go into like making a data center. People have to buy certain metals, uranium, gold, all of those companies. This is believed to be something that's going to increase in volume and activity. So for us, the retail trader, and this is my first time even getting involved in trading at all, but I need to pay off debts. I have accumulated so many debts, and I'm not making a lot of sales on my books, not enough to pay all these debts for sure. And my Social Security is not enough. I buy food, and I pay debts. So my whole vision, one of my most important visions, is paying off debt. So I am what's called a short-term investor. And there are mid-term investors, long-term investors. I'm not really looking to stay in this for the long term. I'm looking to make some money. And if I make like triple the amount of money or that I thought, and I might stay in it for the long term. But again, not being greedy and selfish is one of the keys to success. Overthinking, no overthinking. Here is the vision for us. If you want to raise your consciousness, spiritual awareness, the vision for trading is number one.
Grandma.
I'm on the show right now.
Oh.
What did you need?
Nothing serious. I just wanted to show you something.
Okay. I'll be done in like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. That was my granddaughter shouting she needs to show me something. So I have to give her my attention for a minute. So our vision, if you are interested in becoming financially free, our vision is to have consistent results. How do you have consistent results? You have to pay attention to the charts. You have to pay attention to the charts that go along with kids. You have to pay attention to the charts that go along with trading. And the only one I have is from my flyer. Let me bring that in. Okay, so on this flyer, the consistent results happen when you look at this chart. The lines here, the two parallel lines that show how the price is going up and down, up and down, up and down. And there's a range that you want to pay special attention to on all and with each company, you get a picture in numbers. This is why it's so spiritual, in my opinion, because the language of the universe is all numbers. So each company gives you this communication of numbers. Say they start their stock at $10 a share. So you're going to be watching a chart that shows, and then that will give you a yearly picture of the numbers and information that shows you what was their lowest price, what was their highest price, and all year, did they go way up or did they go way down? The key to successful trading is what I find is that they don't go extremely up or down. They stay in a certain range horizontal in a horizontal area. They stay within that range, which touches at the what's called the resistance at the bottom and the support at the top. So think about how many situations in your life do you encounter resistance, and how many people or situations in your life give you support. This is the key energy in trading, is resistance and support. And so our vision is to pay attention, getting consistent results by seeing what type of resistance is that at the top or at the bottom. What type of resistance is this price getting that it goes down, or the support it within this range, resistance and support. So you're looking at every day. You're looking every day at resistance and support. Isn't this our life, part of our life journey? Is resistance comes from the people in our life, the economy, our boss, our jobs, our desire to succeed, our desire to find new relationships. There's always going to be some resistance that we have to overcome in order to get success, right? So look, and then you have to pay attention to the support. Well, look at all the support you have. Number one, from the universe. The creator gives you all, your ancestors give you all the support you need. But too often we get distracted. And so part of our vision is being in a flexible and adaptable system. So you have to find a broker, for instance, or in my case, SoFi Bank, which is an independent bank out of, I think, California, which I've been a member of for some time. That's, to me, a flexible and adaptable system. All I have to do is open up my app, go to the trading page. I can make a watch list on there. It's flexible. I can go ahead and if I have a stock that, and every company on your watch list in this particular app will show you the chart, their resistance and support of their prices that go up and down throughout the year, throughout the month, that are based on anything and everything from the economy to the events in that company. So you're looking at a system with the one I found on this SoFi, which doesn't have all the stocks, but they have some of them, that you can open up your phone, check and see every day what the price is and what the price was a year ago, and how the chart, the Fibonacci, the arrangement of the numbers, the resistance and the support every year, all year or every day. You can check that on your phone, on your app with this company. Then you want to make sure that your environment is safe and comfortable. You don't need to have a broker or any type of relationship. Again, a lot of this is about relationships, not only with yourself, being consistent and disciplined and fearless and not overthinking, but making sure whatever environment you're in is safe and comfortable so that you can pay attention to what the numbers in your investment are doing. And then becoming financially free. Of course, that's I think every vision for people in trading, that has been their vision, to be financially free and have passive income. So you don't have to work at an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job every day, because you have taken the time to invest in a company that you think is worthy of investing. And then solving diversity issues. So you're going to look at some of the activity going on in the companies you choose to invest in, and you're going to have to maybe solve some problems as to when it's time to drop that trade, or say, okay, not take a loss, save yourself from taking a loss. And then whether you want to enter into another trade because you have a watch list of companies and you're watching how well they're doing in the market. It's all leading to financial freedom. So the work is, it's worth it to do 1 hour a day if you can see a financial freedom on the horizon. And then making within retail investments, you're building a high profile as you watch these companies and listen to different experts, and they say, well, this company is doing this and that. Now you're making a high profile watch list. You're not going to have a bunch of junk stocks or investments. Even something like gold, commodities, is something that I'm looking at as a short-term investor. I need to make gold is going to, as they're saying, gold is going to really go high once the war ends and Iran war and this SpaceX thing takes off. So there are all these factors that are being considered whether these stocks are going to do well. And then making trade fun. It is so much fun for me right now because all I have to do is open up my phone and watch the movement of the arrows here on the charts and watch whether they go below, they're close to going to the support line, or whether they're whether there's movement upward, which makes you smile like, ooh, this is fun, because when the movement is upward, that means you're making money. Because if you start a trade at $4, which I did today, I bought 3 stocks at $4 for companies that are doing well. They're on a horizontal movement like this, versus you don't want to have a company that the chart is looking like this. They've been going down. The price has been going down, down, down. Or you don't want to have a company that's been going woo, 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 woo. You want to have a company that's staying within a border of support and resistance that'll show you that this company has a high probability of making you money and rising in their price and being successful. So this is something I just wanted to share with you. Anyone, it's free for anyone to get into trading. It's not like only the rich. Some of us have gotten the idea that only the rich can do stock trading, and not true, not true. Even if you have, like I say, even if you have a small amount of money, if you are willing to be disciplined and watch the projection of companies in a range that keeps going steady, and that company is something you really like, you find a company you like and you look at on the charts and you say, well, they're doing well, they're not going, the prices of their stock aren't going down. And again, if you're paying attention to this SpaceX thing, this is huge in the trading market, and a lot of people, even the president and senators and people we're getting information about who's in the government is buying stocks in certain companies. I'll give you one for sure. Look up Redwire. Redwire is one that just kept coming up over and over and over again as a stock that is successful, and it's not expensive. It's not expensive at all. It's below. I didn't invest in any stocks that were over even $50. I'm not investing $300 a share or anything. I'm investing just to have a little fun and believe and trust that I'm going to make some money and pay off my debts. That's my goal, my vision. And then if things get even better, which I believe they are, in fact, I made a vision board to predict that I will have 6 figures in my checking account. Did I say 5? I think 5 figures. So do that, right? If you're wondering whether you should do that or not, do a vision board and create your vision on paper. It worked. It has worked for me so many times. I haven't done a vision board in years, but create a vision board of how you want your financial situation to be, or what type of companies would you like to see succeed, and then go and check out their financial status and see how well they're doing, and then go ahead and support them. The next part of this year is going to be so interesting for us to observe companies that have prepared for the huge changes in AI and technology. going to be huge. We're going to see so many advancements in every area you can imagine. Flying cars. They have flying cars in Africa right now. I don't see that coming here, but who knows? But this is just something I wanted you to be aware of. Your consciousness level will be sharper because you are paying more attention to a practice or an exercise that could actually give you financial freedom versus being entertained with Netflix or being entertained, period. Even if you have a job, 9-to-5 job, maybe you want to get out of that 9-to-5 job. So put your interest and your attention to something that might really help you lose that job and have freedom. So we have one comment here. Robert Parrish, she says, I'm here. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. For anybody who's here, are any of you already in trading? Is this something new to you? Or have you been experienced? Have you lost money? That would be my question to anyone who's in trading. Have you been losing money? This class that I took is almost a guarantee of how not to lose money. If you're paying attention, if you are disciplined at least 1 hour a day, maybe, or even a week. It depends on how many stocks or how many companies you're invested in, how much time you're going to need to spend, because the routine daily is to check whether they're in the high probability range of success and they're not dropping below a line of resistance where you're going to take a loss. Because you would mark the chart where you bought the trade or where you made the trade, how much you paid. And then each day you're just checking to see for fun. Have fun with it. You don't have to, if you're spending more than $5, $10, $20 per share, you're not losing a lot of money. But people spend thousands of dollars a share when they have the money. Again, 15% of your income is normal for investing. So if somebody's making $100,000, 15% of their income is chump change, I guess. So that's the key, though, moving forward in this very uncertain period of major advancements, especially in AI. We're going to see robots and all kinds of things. So that's where a lot of attention is going, especially for women, single women. This is your chance. This is your opportunity to take some of the money. Let me just say this. For women who are single and they're putting their money into nails, hair, eyelashes, clothes, this is your time to make a sacrifice and put that money into stocks and trading. Whatever money you've been spending on hair, nails, and clothes and all that, put it into stocks for a while and just see what happens. And then you, as a single mom, you're going to reduce some of the stress in your life because you might even be able to quit that job and spend more time with your children. But you're going to make a sacrifice. And here's another thing. Teach your children as you learn. I'm teaching this summer, my grandchildren are going to learn how to trade because they're smart. And I have all the paperwork. I made screenshots while I was in this class and I printed them out. And they're going to learn how to read charts. That's basically what you're doing, is learning how to read these charts, the Fibonacci sequences and all that goes with the advanced details. And you're going to learn how to make decisions. Your children will learn how to make decisions about what they're observing on charts, like geometry and math. So they're going to develop their math skills, their brain skills, and their discipline skills. So it's good for all of us if you're ready to just spend some time. And it really just means taking time away from something else you've been doing that's not making you any money or even the possibility of making you any money, but just take some time to learn something new. Basically, you can learn something new. Just take it one day at a time, as I did. One day at a time in these classes, and I start saying, oh, I think I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. And I jumped right in and did it. So now I got to watch every day to see how my less than $100 investments are doing, and just believing and affirming on my vision board that these stocks are going to go high. So that's our show for tonight. I hope this has been helpful for you. If this has been helpful, please like and subscribe and share this with others who are struggling, especially struggling financially, and they don't know what to do. And it popped in my head, especially about the homeless. If you are in a close to a homeless community, give them an option to invest in stocks by coming together and putting $1 in a bucket. I mean, if you have 10 people who put $1 in a bucket for stocks and they trust you, and you're going to go invest in small dollar stocks, you could earn those people hundreds of dollars. Who knows? If you are studying the charts and the company's discipline in a detailed way, you can help the homeless. There's so many areas where you could help people in, and this is easy to do if you just take the time to learn the process and watch. And you can do it on your phone. That's the really easy, comfortable. Check your phone every day. This is doing that. Get out, sell, and just become an expert at something that the whole country, the whole earth is doing, and making millions. People are becoming millionaires because they're disciplined, their emotions are steady, and they're not greedy. Many of them are not greedy because once they make their millions, a lot of them are teaching others how to do the same. So when I make my millions, I'll continue to teach you how to do the same. I'm expecting to make millions this year, at least the start of it, because I'm so excited about it. And I'm divinely called to just get in and jump in and do this and see what happens. So thank you for being here today. And everybody go out. Go out there and do it. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have to have no fear when it comes to jumping in on the business on the activity and the process of trading for companies that are making this country great, really, many of them, and making the world a better place. I'm choosing companies who are making the world a better place, and they're doing it successfully. All right, so thank you all. And again, if you need some literature, my book is available, From Fear to Faith and the Master Design. You can get that by sending $8 Cash App to $ Vieta Robinson. And you'll get, even if you send $8 for the Fear to Faith book, you'll also get the Vegetable Soup book. And that's also on my website, yourholisticlifecoach.com. So to all my yogi friends out there, namaste, satnam, aho, aho. To all my indigenous brothers and sisters, I got lots of them out there, aho, aho. And ashe, ashe, oh, to all my African-blooded, rich-blooded friends and family. And as always, shalom. Stay in peace. See you next time. Let's see. Today's Wednesday. See you Friday for health and well-being with Vieta right here on this channel.
On the bed, book bad, the cool type of gal. The cooks a hopper, a cop, papa R. Penenza, put the cook on us order. Go who's to get a limit to order. A zempa, haka, kept a cataract, a derrick a hen. Tashiya, wish you up a sound come one. The fear would have probably a cal at noon. I kick the kaboot, you went part to sad. I knew get a horse, look at Papa got ass. I knew I went for Papa lag. I knew I got but you I could get that. I knew could do on the culture destination yet. I knew could do la mother was part of that. I do free Papa that, the guy was said, but now that's super do I got no horse. The cook could put it in hot,